as Mobikwik, even as you await IPO, you're still going to be looking to raise another round or some more funding. It's been in the news of late. Tell me how things are different, or what the current scenario is in terms of what kind of questions investors are asking, how much you think before going out there to raise the next round, how you see that adding to further value creation.
So I think, firstly, as entrepreneurs, we have to stop thinking just about valuation and think about value creation, like Ganesh was also saying. And value creation comes from, in multiple stages in startups. You start in an early stage with just an idea, then you get to a product market fit. Then you get to a business market fit, where you truly have business. And then eventually what is expected is you need to generate free cash flow, right? So I think every company needs to follow that path. And if they don't, eventually, they cannot survive. And so as Mobikwik, we've been focused on this. Of course, we are towards the later stages of this journey. And I think business today for us has been doing extremely well. In fact, business this year is doing much better than how it was doing last year. It's just that the market has obviously changed. And I believe that the market has changed also not necessarily related to any particular industry or any particular player. There are obviously global macros which are at work and different kind of factors which influence valuations and valuation multiples, etc. But other than that, I think if you talk about like fintech in general, every single company that I talk to are doing extremely well. And they are growing very fast. In fact, for us, the last 2 quarters, we actually achieved profitability for the first time at EBITDA level for the last 2 quarters of last financial year. And, we hope to continue that this year. So as long as I think one builds a solid business, and, I think the days of, I think at least this year, the expectation of 100%, 200%, 300% growth is probably one has to moderate. If you get to good scale and grow 30, 40%, that's still, one of the fastest growing companies in India. And I think technology companies, fintech companies, travel, etc., hopefully should grow at that kind of rate. And that should make sure that, eventually, if you need capital, the capital is available, right? And it will come.
Got it. Some great takeaways from the session. We only have a few minutes left, sir, but I do want to get another closing comment in from both our other entrepreneurs as well. Kaivalya, in terms of you're a very young company still, does any of this talk make you nervous? Is the future looking very bright? What is on your radar going forward?
Good question. I think, I think on the point of this funding winter, etc., right, I think the last 10 years or so have been, on the whole, like a pretty enormous bull run, I think, and some of that is getting corrected. But again, I think like many of our panelists here today have said, the best companies will continue to do well. I think for us in particular, from day one, like I said, unit economics was one of the primary focus areas, right? And so, thankfully, as the macroeconomic scenario changes, life at Zepto doesn't change too much, right? It's not that we were throwing money at problems or have a crazy amount of fat to cut. And so, largely, things are BAU. I think, you talked about free cash flow. I think that's something that is a focus area for us as well. For us, it's slightly different though, because we launch new micro markets in different phase ways, right? Within a city, you launch new cities, etc. Right now, the focus area is, okay, the micro markets that we launched 9 or 10 months ago, right? How many of them are generating free cash flow, right? And so we're there, right? That's what we're sort of focused on. I think, and I think on the whole, like I said, it's not like a new focus area, something that's been there from day zero. And so, I think I'm excited about the future. I think the best companies the people who can execute the best will end up continuing to do well. And I think we're well within that bucket. And so, looking forward to the future.